Welcome, welcome, welcome to the second video. I'm going to make this short and sweet. We talked about one-step equations yesterday. Today we're talking about two-step equations. When you are solving two-step equations, you have to use inverse order of operations, which means that you will add or subtract first, and then you will multiply or divide second. So let's look at your foldable at example 1. We have 2x plus 4 equals 8. Again, when we're solving equations, the goal is to get the variable x by itself. So step 1, we have to get the term that has the variable alone. So here what we're talking about is we have to get 2x by itself, because that's the term with the variable. So to get 2x by itself, you must get rid of the 4. The 4 is being added to 2x. To get rid of the 4, you must do the inverse or opposite of what is already being done. The inverse of addition is subtraction. So now we have 2x plus 4 equals 8. We said that first thing we have to do is subtract 4 from both sides. When we subtract 4 from both sides, positive 4 and negative 4 gives us 0. So we're left with 2x equals, now 8 plus negative 4 is going to give us 4. So now we have 2x equals 4. Now let's look at step 2. Step 2 says to get the variable x by itself, the operation between 2 and x is multiplication. So we must do the inverse operation. The inverse operation is division. So we had before 2x equals 4. So we have to divide by 2 on both sides. 2 divided by 2 becomes our 1, which gives us our 1x. And 4 divided by 2 is 2. So x equals 2. Now let's look at example 2. We have a negative w over 2 plus 6 equals 7. Another way to read that is a negative w divided by 2 plus 6 equals 7. We have to get the variable w by itself. So step 1, we have to get the term that has the variable alone. So negative w divided by 2 by itself. To get a negative w divided by 2 by itself, you must get rid of the 6. The operation between negative w divided by 2 and 6 is addition. To get rid of 6, you must do the inverse or opposite of what is already being done. The inverse operation of addition would be subtraction. So we're going to say minus 6 minus 6. When we do that, we end up with a negative w over 2 equals 7 plus negative 6 gives us 1. So we have a negative w divided by 2 equals 1. Now moving on to step 2. So here we get the variable w by itself. The operation between w and negative 2 is division. To get rid of the negative 2, we must do the inverse operation. The inverse operation is multiplication. Now we said a negative w over 2 equals 1. So here, since this is division, we have to multiply. We're multiplying by a negative 2, or in other words, a negative 2 over 1. Here, multiplying by a negative 2. These cross-reduce and become 1s. So now we have our w. 1 times negative 2 is negative 2. So w equals negative 2. Remember, if you have any more questions, make sure you ask your teacher when you get to class. We'll have a little question and answer time, and we'll practice some more solving equations. See you tomorrow.